the Logos became human, and we beheld his glory, in which God encoded himself in Christ. We can read off from creation something about the idea of a creator. The axiom for doing science is to believe the universe is intelligible. But if you ask for the rationale behind that, why do we believe the universe is intelligible? It bears the imprint of a creator. And I see that at the level of mathematics, in its capacity to, at least in part, give us a handle on what's out there. And also in biology, where we have at the heart of every living cell the longest word we've ever found, the genetic code. And all of that leads me to formulate it as follows, that we live in a word-based universe. That's the key of the Logos for me. Well, it means that this universe is not simply a product of natural, unguided forces. It is a product of a rational creator, an intelligent creator, and I believe even more than that, a personal creator. Now, how I get there is only in part from a response to the universe as I find it. It's also, it seems to me that there are two major sources of knowledge. There is, first of all, observing the universe, science, etc. Then there are the humanities. But there's also the concept of revelation, in which I believe. In other words, it's not simply the human quest for the creator, it's the creator revealing himself. So for me, the anchor point in the end is that the Logos became human and we beheld his glory. In other words, we can see exactly what this means in terms of what we can understand. That is the human being in which God encoded himself in Christ. Interesting that when I did my debate with Dawkins at the Oxford Natural History Museum, at the press conference afterwards, we were asked, was there anything that we agreed on? And there was one thing, and that is that truth exists. It depends that we are committed to the pursuit of truth. Otherwise, as you say, science is absolutely no point. I happen to believe that truth, of course, is not simply propositional truth, but ultimately truth is a person. And that is the very deep claim. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And it's interesting there that Jesus wasn't merely saying, I say true thing. This goes much deeper. I am the truth. And if we set up a sequence of questions about anything, what is the truth about the atom? Well, you can split it into elementary particles. What is the truth about those? I believe this claim is so big that it's actually saying that at the end of the backward sequence of questions, Jesus Christ will say, I am the truth. I am is the fundamental proposition about the nature of God. Does the series of questions go back forever? I don't believe it does. I think at the end of every question series like this, the huge claim at the heart of Christianity is you find Christ standing and saying, I am the truth. Because ultimately, he is the cause for which all of this exists at all its different levels. So truth is a person. And I constantly emphasize to people that God is not a set of propositions. There are plenty of propositions about God, but God is personal. And so when you ask the question, what is truth? Then how do I get to know the truth about a person? Now, if I want to get to know you, I could lay you on a sophisticated table and scan your brain, and I could measure some of the electrical impulses, but I never get to know you. The only way I would get to know you is if you reveal yourself to me. Now, once you begin to reveal yourself to me, which would normally be in the first instance by your talk and your gestures and your demeanor, I can then apply criteria to that. Does it make sense? If you say, well, I actually come from the moon, I would want to put that up against some kind of measurement. I think this is hugely important because getting to know a person means you have to reveal yourself. And the basic question, the basic God question to my mind is, if there is a God, has he revealed himself?